Godzilla vs. Megalon. This is literally the point where we see the Godzilla franchise like a new low. And the irony is that I, Jimmy Retro, am ashamed to say that I actually like this movie. Well, not like the original version, but more of the Mystery Science Theater 3000 version, which is where me and most other folks know this movie from. It got the movie to be bearable, the scenes were funny, and I got to see some pretty infamous moments in the franchise that marked the Dark Age. So, let's begin. So it all begins with this weird, I don't know what I want to say cult name, but, you know, judging by the women here. And they're scantily clad and are performing some sort of eerie dance for this Greek Roman king? These guys are apparently a civilization called Zootopia, which is weird because there's no sea around them. That joke. And they're actually kind of unique in a way because remember Godzilla vs. Hedorah? We're at ElGoji98's doing that one. And yeah. So they're angry at humanity for kind of doing all this junk like nuclear tests, mass deforestation, all that stuff. Because the side effects were pretty massive. I mean, Monster Island was itself decimated because Anguirus and Rodan ended up falling into fissures. And Godzilla wasn't around. He was probably in the ocean for something. I don't know. Anyways, they had enough. So, they decided to summon their deity, Megalon, which is basically a giant beetle with drills for hands, and some star-studded thing on his head. This is kind of ironic, but even though he's one of the most hated monsters, he's one of my favorites in the video games. Seriously, he's taking a liking on me. He has drills for hands, can pierce through the thickest hide, which you can hear in the games. He can spit out napalm bombs from his horn thingy, whereas in the movie it's his mouth. Kind of too soon for that, because at the same time... Anyway, enough about the video games for now. So basically, they send them out there to fly around and cause destruction. Most of it was practically stock footage from Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, but the only thing that wasn't stock footage from all that rampage was when Megalon approaches a dam. And while some of it looked pretty good, some shots like this one looked kind of derpy. And this is kind of ironic because Megalon destroying a dam, which provides hydro energy for most civilians, he caused more damage than help to them. I'm guessing that Zootopia prefers everything as it was 65 million years ago or something, because maybe they have a grudge against technology or something. I don't know. They never explain it. It's just something that the film has a severe drawback from. So after he finishes his little temper tantrum in the forest, a guy named Goro Ibuki was around testing his newest invention, would you say. A robot named Jaggar, which is basically the Godzilla version of Ultraman. Which is kind of ironic because they're both made by Toho in a way. But you get the idea. He's also another character that made more and more appearances through the games. I mean, he can actually get into critical mass. He can grow from a small height from human size to a size as big as Biolante. And he can spin around in a whirlwind, sucking up monsters underneath. He is actually pretty powerful in the games. especially since he has that chi beam that he fires from his hands. But while he is a powerhouse in Unleashed, he is a total wimp in this movie. So basically, he fights Megalon, he fights him good, up until Seatopians realize what was happening, and they send help through the Space Hunter Nebula M aliens from the previous movie, and they send Gigan over. Still using stock footage, and let me just say that once Gigan came, he got swamped, he was pummeled, he was thrashed. He was basically getting his head handed to him over there. So, I'm guessing they took a note from the early campy DC shows, because what does Jet Jaguar do after suffering a humiliating defeat? Oh, Godzilla. That's right. After having his Saryars handed to him, Jet Jaguar hauls himself over to Monster Island to beg Godzilla for assistance, and Godzilla, naturally the children's idol, says yes, and they head to New York to fight Megalon in the most iconic way possible. The recently completed Twin Towers, where the two will fight neck and neck to see who will dominate and who will be thrown off. No, but seriously, there's no scene in any print of the film that features Godzilla and Megalon fighting in the Twin Towers. That's just a publicity stunt that happened after King Kong 1976 was released around the same time, and they just wanted to capitalize on the competition. So yeah, instead of them fighting on top of New York with a bunch of skyscrapers trying to kill them, they instead fight in the same battlefield where Jet Jaguar fought him once before. And speaking of King Kong, apparently in Germany, King Kong is secretly Jet Jaguar. Or apparently, contrary to tradition, he's not in a robot suit. Apparently Jet Jaguar is King Kong for some weird reason. Don't ask me why, it's just probably translation issue, or King Kong also released at the same time over there. Who knows? So the duo makes short work of Gigan, thanks to the Jaguar breaking his hook and throwing him up in the air for Godzilla to shoot fire on it. That was actually rather cool. And yet odd, considering how the atomic breath system works in the Atari games, where you shoot your atomic breath at the one who's flying and they get shot down. Just like that. Much for the ultimate team up, right? Anyway, that's the last time we see Gigan in the Showa era. Because what happens next will blow the minds away of literally everybody in the world. Yup, the infamous drop kick. This scene makes it worth the ticket if you watched it in 1973. Or if you watch it on TV. Because not only they do it once, but twice. And they're both clean finishes. It was like a wrestling match if you were watching it. It was like Godzilla and Jet Jaguar were a tag team fighting against the last remaining member of the opposing team, which is Megalon. And that was the result. Anyway, the kick is out some more, and Megalon decides he had enough, and he decides to burrow back into Seatopia from whence he came. Another day, another job well done, wouldn't you say? Another alien gets his ass kicked and gets right of who he is. Alright, yay, we're very amused. But something cool about the scene later was that Godzilla is seen shaking hands with Jet Jaguar, which is kind of unique for a moment, because usually you don't see Godzilla making alliances with humans or robots. This is one of the rare occasions when you see it. Basically, he knows he can count on him whenever he's down and out, apparently, before he leaves for Monster Island and Jet Jaguar returns home. And that is where the infamous Jet Jaguar song has been sung so many times. And now, courtesy of the Chango, we're going to hear the Jet Jaguar song resung, translated into English, based on the Mystery Science Theater 3000 version. So, enjoy!
He's a jock that he made of steel, and eats sushi from a pan. Jaggar, he might have never really loved him. He can't fight, he covers up a basic insecurity. He covers up an Adam's apple the size of a Toyota. He basically good-hearted, but he like this special annoying kid against the rock. Who's there is that you Jack Nicholson. Don't fall like that, it'll stay that way.
Please don't touch my bags, Mr. Customs Man. And it only took 5 months worth of Japanese lessons through a cheap DS game. Who'd have thunk it, huh? But yeah, that was the MST3K version, fully translated into modern terms. Because, you know, English evolves as well. But yeah, that was our fruit of our research. Don't tell ElGoji this, but the MST3K version is the superior version. I recommend you watch that if you don't mind the occasional cut-ins and dialogue from the characters. But in the case of this song and ElGoji98 finding out at him possibly nuking us, it was worth it.